पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है, पल दो पल मेरी हस्ती है, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है, मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ. Well, if you think I'm trying to get my inner Mukesh out, I'm not trying to do that. But this is exactly the song that the great Mahendra Singh Dhoni used to announce his retirement from international cricket a long, long time back. And it's just one of those feelings today when you see that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is no longer the captain of Chennai Super Kings. We saw Rituraj Gaikwad coming out to do the toss. And yeah, it was an emotional moment. Sarvesh, your thoughts on not seeing Mahendra Singh Dhoni as captain of CSK?
I
I
feel
feel
old.
old.
That's what I can say. Because this is the first time that we are not going to see MS, Virat, or Rohit as captains. So, like, it's been how many now? 15, 16 years now? Since the IPL started, we have been seeing these guys. MS was there from the very start. And then then Rohit joined, Virat joined, and all these guys came. And it was a complete era. Now, none of them are there. So it's truly a new generation now taking over. But just to if you just talk about the longevity of these guys, then it's incredible. MS will be, I think he'll be 43 in a couple of months. I think, right? 43, right?
Yeah, he's the same age as me actually. I'm 42, so he's the same. He'll be 43 this year. Yeah.
I can't imagine playing for that long and at that intensity with that kind of responsibility. But he has done it all, and now he has finally given that responsibility to Rituraj. We'll discuss that in some time. But what's your first reaction when you saw that when you saw CSK fielding and MS was setting the field? So we were thinking like, what's going to happen now? Who's going to do all those changes? And I saw MS doing that, and then Ruturaj were also there. And the good thing was that Ruturaj was present. He was. I mean, we have seen what has happened earlier with Jadeja. But this time it looked different. Ruturaj was involved there. I mean, no disrespect to Jadeja, but Ruturaj is somebody who has captained Maharashtra for he has captaining Maharashtra for some time now. So he has got that experience. So it's very obvious that we expected that he was doing what was expected from a captain. So I think overall it was a good start. He started his captaincy career with a boundary when he came to bat. So again, very positive, very good start. And I wanted to know before we move further in the discussion, let's take a quick look at what has happened today.
Yeah, so obviously, RCB winning the toss, electing to bat first, putting on 173 for 6 in their 20 overs. They recovered well because at one stage they were 78 for 5. Great recovery there by Anuj Rawat and Dinesh Karthik. In our preview, we said that Anuj Rawat was like one of those mutual funds, that RCB has invested in a long, long time for, along with Mahipal Lomror. But yeah, that mutual investment definitely paying rich dividends today, Sarvesh.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're talking about his. So last season we have seen what he can do. He played, I think, one or two good innings at the back end, and we saw his ability to hit those sixes regularly against seamers. So I think today again, what he did to Tushar Deshpande, he was brilliant. I mean, they were 78 for 5, like you said, and I think they added 95 runs from last 50 balls. At 78 for 5, it looked like this game could get over pretty quickly. And I felt that okay, it's going to be a boring start to the IPL. Then that partnership actually kept that game alive. It kept RCB in the hunt, and the game actually went till the 19th over of the second innings. None of us thought that when they were 78 for 5, there were a flurry of wickets in the middle of that RCB innings. None of us thought that. So credits to both these guys, Anuj Rawat and Dinesh Karthik. And Dinesh Karthik especially, we had all those doubts. People were questioning his ability, if he is still good enough. People were saying that he's full-time commentator, part-time cricketer now. I think he has responded fabulously to all that chatter. I think he did what was expected.
I wonder if he's heard my jingle that I sang to him the other day. which said takes the world in his stride. Dinesh, and no, he did take the innings in his stride.
Yeah.
Just a couple of quick questions for you on this front as well, because I asked this to you off air when we were having a WhatsApp chat during the game. Um, they were 1 wicket away because the next batter in was Kan Sharma. They were 1 wicket away from the tail. And do you think if at that point, at 78 for 5, if RCB had lost another wicket, do you think strategically it was the right time to kind of get an impact sub and get a batter to come in? Because if they did have a defendable score, then having another extra bowler makes no sense. What are your thoughts on the whole impact sub use?
I think, yeah, you rightly said that, because I felt that they were a wicket away from that decision. So at Chennai, you need two spinners. So they needed Karan Sharma and Mayank Dagar. So the option was, they could have probably gone on to. I mean, there were not many options with them. So they would have been a bowler shot, because had they got another batsman in, they would have been a bowler shot. They would have probably replaced a batter with a new batter, and then they could have been only four bowlers, and Yash Dayal couldn't have gotten in. So again, those 2-3 overs could have made a difference. So I mean, it was a critical decision, and I'm glad that it didn't come to that point, and this partnership actually prevented it. I'm not sure, I'm not sure if they had taken that call, but I think it could have been a sensible decision to do that, because 80 for 5, 80 for 6. I mean, you are just looking in your first game. You don't want to look at your net run rate and trying to play for that. I don't think that's the right approach to play in your first game. So I think, yeah, as you rightly said, probably the 1 wicket away from that substitution.
Well, let's talk about the Fizz for a moment as well. Playing his first game for Chennai, comes in, runs in hard. The pace was up, because I have never seen that level of pace from Mustafizur in the last few years.
Yeah.
So he's clearly worked on his fitness. He was running in hard. He was hitting the deck, using all his variations. And at one stage, his spell was 2 overs, no maidens, 7 runs, and 4 wickets.
Yeah.
That was, in that second last over, he got a bit of tap because the batters were well set and they were going after the bowling. But phenomenal kind of debut for him with CSK. What is it about this franchise that any player who comes in from anywhere just seems to deliver?
I don't know what black magic is there, but yeah, I mean, that management, that franchise, they have done this thing over and over again and again. So it's not just luck. It's not just one-off incident. I mean, they have been doing it for some time. So there has to be some logic. There has to be some thinking. There must be some planning going on behind the doors. Now, one thing which CSK is that they sign players and they play those players to their strengths. I mean, they are not going to sign Shivam Dube and they gave him one specific role, that you're going to go out against spinners and you're going to take the spinners on. So he took Rashid Khan on, and all the good spinners from the opposition, he took everyone on. So I think that's the kind of strategy that they always employ. So I think again, in this case, Mustafizur at Chennai, I mean, you would probably think that once those pitches start getting older, once we are into May and April, so I think that is going to be a period for Mustafizur when his slow will be even more critical. Right now, it's still newish surface. We saw the kind of bounce that the bowlers were getting in the initial overs. So I think once we are into 7th, 8th game and at Chennai, we'll be seeing a completely different Mustafizur, even better Mustafizur, when his slow ones will be effective.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a bit about that run chase now. CSK getting there in the 19th over with comfortable. It was a comfortable kind of run chase. Scorecards never tell you the full story, and as you see, Shivam Dube, they're top scoring with 38 of 25, but it wasn't a very comfortable 38, was it? Because this 2-bouncer rule clearly affecting the likes of Shivam Dube and his free-flowing nature.
As soon as Rahane got out, they brought 2 seamers on. They brought both tall seamers on. They got Alzari and they got Cameron Green on from both the ends. And Alzari specifically bowled really well. I think Cameron Green is not the right kind of a bowler. I mean, of course, he has got that height, but his lines were a bit wavered. So that's where he got. That's where Shivam Dube took some boundaries of him. But again, the tactic was to bowl short at him. We'll see a lot of this because we all know what Shivam Dube can do against the spinners. I mean, if you can take Rashid Khan on, then probably there are not a lot of spinners who are going to stop you from scoring runs. So I think that's the kind of strategy that we are going to see from all the other teams whenever he comes to bat. And I think Darren Mitchell was also there with him. And I think even he found it difficult on one or two occasions. Alzari was bowling really well, so even he got Darren Mitchell on awkward bounce on quite a few occasions.
Two of the most fluent batters, though, in that CSK innings was Rachin Ravindra and Ajinkya Rahane. That partnership that both those guys had together was really key. Obviously, Rachin getting the initial partnership with Ruturaj as well. But what a sensational debut. 37 of 15, 3 sixes, 3 boundaries. He just looks like he's been playing IPL all his life. He's a fellow Wellingtonian, so I've got a lot of love and respect for him. And it looks like it's going to be a good tournament for Rachin. Life seems good.
Yes, I mean the way he got out, he was disappointed. You could see that he was not happy because he got out against a leg spinner, and you expect left-handed batter like him to take on the left-arm spinner, left-arm orthodox spinner or the leg spinner. So I think he got out at a wrong time, but I think he still did his job. 37 from 15, chasing 170 odd total. I think it's not a bad start, like you said. And he played some cracking shots. That first 6 that he ate, I mean, he just announced his arrival.
Yeah. And he does play that slog sweep very well. I've seen him do it in the past. The ball was the right ball to be playing that shot against. Just the execution not right. Chennai walking away with 2 points. From the opening game of the IPL, you think, nail biters, you think, it's going to go right down to the wire. But this game just had a feeling of like one team was going through the motions and just waiting for the inevitable to happen. Did you get that feel as well?
Yes. I mean, that's the start sometimes that you get. Personally, I'm not too disappointed with the start because with some of the players that you see that let's take for example MS. I mean, he's coming off from an off season. He doesn't play first class cricket, similar to that Virat Kohli wasn't playing any cricket for last 2-3 months. So again, some players will be coming off from a break. Some players will be they're still not at 100%. I don't know why Shardul didn't play. Maybe he's not 100%. He had a long season with Mumbai in the Ranji Trophy. So I think it's still early days. Some players are still getting in, and so I expected this kind of a slow start. I didn't expect fireworks that Brendan McCullum level fireworks in the opening game. So yeah, I mean, this is still a pretty decent start.
Yeah, it just had that feeling that rusty is the word, that comes to mind. If there's a few players out there who looked rusty.
Yes.
Deepak Chahar looked rusty in his opening spell. Rajat Patidar, little poke outside the off stump. I mean, we know he's not been in good form in the test matches, but he looked a bit rusty. Glenn Maxwell, he's not had a whole lot of competitive cricket coming into this.
Exactly.
The last time he played was against New Zealand, and there's been about a good month of no cricket for him in between. Players looked a bit rusty, but I'm sure as the tournament goes on, they'll pull up their socks and we'll see the best of all those players.
Yeah.
Well, that was the story from match 1. What have we got in store for tomorrow, Sarvesh?
So tomorrow we have two encounters. First will be played between Punjab and Delhi, and it's a new stadium.
Yes, and Mullanpur is where the stadium is. Do we know anything about the stadium? Can you tell us something more about it?
So
can you show us where
yes.
exactly the stadium is?
Yeah. So this is the old PCA stadium. This is where the old PCA stadium is.
So this is the Mohali stadium, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the stadium, they did this Mullanpur stadium. I think Mullanpur is the correct pronunciation. I think that stadium is not too far away from this. It's I think around 17 to 18 kilometers away. Let's go there now. Right. now we are in. So I think it's around, not even 17, it's around 15, 14, 15 kilometers away. So yeah, still very close to the old stadium. So same city. I think that's good from the perspective of spectators that they don't have to travel too much. So it's going to be a fresh start.
Yeah, just the fact that there's still no roof, because the Mohali Stadium I saw had no roof on it, and neither does this new stadium. So it's not going to be the most pleasant of experiences.
In the afternoon game.
Hopefully, it's not too hot, and it's an afternoon game, so the fan experience not the best.
Yeah.
Head-to-head records, Delhi obviously having the edge over Punjab in that aspect, and some of the it's obviously a new stadium, so we don't have a whole lot of data on what's been going on. But I guess where we're coming from is the fact that Delhi Capitals as a franchise has done better in the IPL than the Punjab franchise over the years. So that record doesn't surprise me. Anything else that you wanted to add in that head-to-head?
The last few games in between these teams, the average overs played to chase that target, that number I have specifically put in there, that tells you how close the games were. If the game is getting over by 17th over, that means on an average. So that means these two sides have played a fair number of one-sided games, because the closer games they get to 18th, 19th or 20th over, but this game is getting over around 17th over between these two teams. So I think that's one story, that there are not a lot of close games between these two. And again, if you see that first match, DC against PBKS, the last match that these two teams played, Riley Russo was the man of the match, and he was playing with Delhi Capitals. And now he is going to be playing with the Punjab Kings against his older team, Delhi Capitals, his first game. So that's going to be another new start for Riley Russo with a new team.
Any key matchups that we should be looking out for tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. There are a few matchups, but let's see what we have got here. David Warner versus Sam Curran is one matchup that, if Sam Curran plays, then he has got a pretty good record.
That's the big if, though. That's the big if, because we don't know if Sam Curran or Sikandar Raza, one of them will play. So
we don't know what the combination will be. And then Prithvi Shaw against Rahul Chahar. If he gets to those middle overs, if he survives the initial surge from the seamers, then he'll get to Rahul Chahar, and Rahul Chahar has got decent record against Prithvi Shaw. And for Punjab, Jitesh Sharma against Akshar Patel, I mean, this is a strange one, because Jitesh Sharma, as we know, he takes on all the ballers at the back end. He's a good striker of the ball, but Akshar Patel is one guy who has not allowed him to go after him. 13 runs he has scored in less than a run a ball, and he has dismissed him twice. So that's another interesting stat.
But right-handed Indian batters struggling against left-arm spin is the story of Indian cricket, isn't it? Really? So I mean, it shouldn't surprise us at all.
Even Surya Kumar Yadav has struggled sometimes. So I mean, you can forgive this.
Yeah. Another interesting fact is that Riley Russo used to be a DC boy before. Yeah. Now he's switched sides. He's a Punjab boy now. And there was a bit of Arshdeep versus Riley Russo stat, which was brewing there. But now, since both of them are on the same side, Riley Russo doesn't need to worry about Arshdeep anymore.
Yeah, that series where he was getting out consistently. Despite scoring, I think he scored in one of the games, right? Riley Russo, he had a good game once.
He had 100 there, somewhere. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then I think Arshdeep got him out twice or thrice. I don't remember exactly how many times. I think twice or thrice. So his numbers, I saw his numbers. Brilliant numbers. Arshdeep versus Riley Russo, it's pretty one-sided. Arshdeep had him in that series.
I guess the biggest moment of this game is the return of Rishabh Pant. Yeah. And as we've said in our preview, the fact that he's going to be walking on a cricket field again and lifting a bat and playing is going to be spine-tingling. So, yeah, make sure you all switch on your television sets or wherever, or if you're going to the ground, even better. But, yeah, that's a moment you don't want to miss. And we'll be keenly following how he goes and how he looks, because a key cog in the wheel for India in all formats of the game.
Yes.
What's our second game for tomorrow?
So second game will be played at Eden Gardens, KKR against SRH. Again, KKR, they have been the better side between these two in last few years. Since 2019, KKR have won 6 times. Again, one more tight game here. But overall, if you see, KKR were clearly better on most occasions. Last few games, you'll see that Andhra Russell and all the KKR veterans they have performed. Varun Chakravarti has done well, and Nitish Rana, all those guys between these two between this encounter they have done well.
Yeah, and the Eden Garden, obviously, we know, we do have a lot of data about it, so we know what it's going to be like. Contrary to opinions, because people think, that since Gautam Gambhir is back, he'll probably request slow, low turners. But the pitch has been pretty good there of late.
Yes, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen this year, but if you see the record, just look at those dates in March and April when the pitches are fresh. You'll see that plenty of scores about 200, and then 204, 7, 28, 228, 235, 232, 213, 218. I mean, these are some big scores being scored in March and April, and then as you progress in the tournament, as you go towards the end of April or May, then you'll see that 170, 180 becomes a good score as pitches start tiring up. So this could be the story again this year. We don't know. It could be a different story with Gambhir back in that camp. We could see a completely different setup. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But historically, this ground has been a good one. As you'll see, plenty of runs have been scored. Average score of around 194 in first innings is pretty. Is basically this ground is basically giving run fest every other game. So again, we will have to wait and see what happens tomorrow.
I mean, both teams are full of stroke makers. I mean, on one side you've got the likes of your Henrik Klaasen, and on the other side you have the likes of your Rinku Singh and company. So it's going to be if it is a high-scoring game, then we are in for a treat. And lots of boundaries and lots of sixes.
Yes, and another captain is going to be back with Shreyas Iyer, as we know, will be back with KKR. Last season he missed out, just like Rishabh Pant. So he'll be back with KKR. He'll be captaining that side. So once again, we will have another captain making his comeback. And in SRH camp, there is another new captain there. There is Pat Cummins making his captaincy debut for them. So that's
a great point. Shreyas Iyer is back, but the key thing to see will be how is his back. I'm playing with words around here, but yeah, the key factor is going to be his back. And we'll see how his back is. Any key matchups in this game for us to kind of anything that the numbers can tell us?
So we don't know who's going to start. I don't know if Rahman Gurbaz will start. If he starts, then you'll see Bhuvneshwar Kumar has dismissed him twice, and he hasn't even scored a single run. Mayank Markande against Andhra Russell is a very good matchup in favor of Mayank Markande. You don't see this often. A spinner having that kind of a record against Russell, it's not very normal. Again, the Nataraj against Nitish Rana, he has dismissed him twice, but again, he has gone for runs as well. A strike rate of 175, I think you will take it in this modern era, where you're scoring at 175 but losing, but getting dismissed in the process, I think you will take it. So that's one, I think in my opinion, that's a neutral one. Then Umran Malik and Nitish Rana is a pretty interesting one. Nitish Rana has scored a lot of runs of Umran Malik. And at that strike rate has just been dismissed once. Scoring against Umran Malik at that rate, and we all know with this new bouncer rule, things could change in this game if at all, if Umran plays. But yeah, that's another good matchup. And talking about Rahul Tripathi and Andhra Russell, again, 4 wickets, 38 runs. But the strike rate is still decent, but I think you will expect a lot better performance from Rahul Tripathi, especially because he bats in top 3. So it's going to be another interesting one. Again, Mayank has also struggled. So these two are going to be there in their top 3. So I won't be surprised if Andhra Russell comes and bowls 1 or 2 overs in the power play.
Right, prediction time for tomorrow, Sarvesh. I'm going to ask you to put your selector's hat on. DC versus Punjab. Where's your money?
I think I'll say DC because Rishabh is making his comeback. And in the
I
second
think
game,
I tend to agree with you over there. I'm also going DC tomorrow in that first game because of Rishabh. Second game, KKR versus SRH. What's your prediction?
I think KKR look much settled unit at this time. SRH have got very good players, top quality players, but I think they are still the side is still looking. I don't know if they have found the right starting 11. I mean, I'm sure they'll tinker around. They will make some changes as the season goes ahead. But I think it's still very early days. They will make some changes here and there. They will try to find out right combinations at the start. So I think KKR are much settled at this moment. So KKR, in my opinion, should win it.
Fantastic, and I tend to agree with you on that front too. So the news from here, obviously, is that in the first game, Chennai picking up the points. In tomorrow's games, we've got obviously our picks. We're backing DC to pick up the points. We're backing KKR to pick up the points. Time will tell whether we are correct or not. Any closing comments from you, Sarvesh, before
Yeah.
we
Closing comments for our viewers. I think I must tell them that Rahul is joining us from New Zealand. He has so this match started at 8 o'clock for us, but it started at 2:30 for him. So he has been
3:30?
3:30. Yeah. So he's been like I don't think he has gotten enough sleep. So I think credit to him for being that. I mean, I don't even have enough words. I mean, he will probably do this for this entire for next 2 months. So I think, yeah, shout out to just words of encouragement from everyone. I think will be good for him. So yeah, if you like what we are doing, so yeah, just give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe, and yeah, keep supporting us. I've been getting, like I said before, I've been getting pretty good reviews from you all. So let us know what do you want to see in the podcast, and let us know what where we can improve and things like that. We'll be in touch. We'll be constantly discussing, what things that we are going to do with you, and we are hoping for a good feedback from you.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Keep us engrossed and keep us engaged, and follow us on all those social media handles that you can see. And if you want to listen to my singing voice more, please let me know in the comment section. And maybe you can send him some requests as well if you've got any favorite songs. And I'll try and at least include one of them in every episode that we do. We've got 74 matches, so that's a good library of about 75 songs that we can have and call it the Sneakometer playlist or something like that. Anyway, it's been, as always, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back tomorrow with both those games. Please keep in mind, we've picked DC and KKR to come up trumps tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great night.